Happy 2025. Yay, here we are. It is 4:30. I call the meeting of the Public Art Committee on January 7th, 2025 to order at 7:30. No, 4:30. Happy 2025. Okay. Yes, welcome. Okay, we are going to go right in and jump into approval of the minutes from last month, not last month, 2 months ago, from our last meeting, which was November 12th, 2024. Has everybody had a chance to read the minutes? And if not, just maybe tell me you have. Do I have a motion to approve these minutes?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Great. Is there any discussion? Votes in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Votes against? Great, the minutes from November 12th, 2024 pass. Now we are going to go on to new selection panelists. And do we want to talk about this first or do you want a motion first? It's up to you. Let's make a motion and second, and then we'll go into conversation. So is there? Thank you. Efficiency, Vicki. A second?
Second.
I try.
Okay. Is there discussions or questions about the list? They're on the screen and in front of us in the room here.
My only question is there any particular reason why these folks out of the group that we got for selections, that these folks are part of the first panel, or how is that handled?
So this, go ahead. Okay, this is not the first panel. These are new people to add.
These are new ones to add.
I asked the same question. So glad you asked the question because I asked the question too. And my understanding, and then I'd like the staff to make sure I'm saying this correctly, but we've done it twice, right? I think in April and May, selection panelists, not all of them have been called, but these particular people have expertise that we don't yet have in our pool that we would need for future selection panels. Do I have that right?
We have sorry, oh God. And we have several selection panels upcoming. And since 2022, the list that we have is more comprehensive. In fact, we actually have contact information for the panelists, which is fantastic. And many of the panelists that we have moved through the process in the last year, we've contacted in some way to be on the panels. So there's a variety of reasons that have added these groups. We always need selection panelists. These are highly skilled. I think we have 4 panels coming up probably in the next 7 months. And it's not always, you have to get kind of everybody's schedule to overlap. So it can be a little tricky. But there you have it. The corpus of the reason why.
Thank you.
Any other questions or discussion points? Great, then let's move to vote. All in favor of moving these panelists along?
Aye.
Aye.
Any against? Great, this motion passes. Fantastic. Okay. Our next agenda item is a recommendation to support the installation of a citywide sidewalk poetry public art project. It's going to begin in the Esperanza district, which is District 11. And actually, before we go on for a vote or a motion, excuse me, I do want you to talk about this because I don't think we've brought this to this. No. Okay, this is fascinating. Go.
So I'm going to introduce Adriana to talk about this because Adriana has also done all of our research about this. So the planning department actually reached out to us and asked, if we could consider having some lower entry public art projects that wouldn't have large budgets, but could be kind of neighborhood interventions like this sidewalk poetry, which is done in other places very well. So we consider this to be a citywide project because it can go if we can get get plans, if we can plan well with the planning department, then these are opportunities that really exist across the city. And then Adriana has been doing the really, shouldering all the research. So I'm gonna let her pass. And I see your hand, Vicky.
Do you want me to say something now or you want me to wait?
The world's your oyster. Whatever you want to do.
No, I just wanted to say I was so excited when I saw this because for decades, I've been interested in something other than just visual art being considered public art because there are many other ways that it can be done around, and many cities have done it. And so I was thrilled to see that we were making some moves towards not just having visual art considered in the public art realm.
So this is a project that Es Rodriguez and Lynn have been working on. I'm just collaborating, supporting with researching resources. So as you can see, the budget line is 200,000. It's going to be citywide. We're wanting to start it at Esperanza, but of course, it's a citywide project that we can kind of get inspiration from different other programs around the country. In my research, I even found projects in Singapore. So it's been so widespread that people just got, inspired by what St. Paul started with. So I think it started in 2008, and it was like a project that allowed these artists as a residency artist just to create something new. And this is what, was produced. So since then, what cities have been doing, and also some universities, is to do either open calls or invite, the public. In our case, and I know Lynn has been doing some meetings with us, working with our Dallas poet laureate, Matt Gabbard. I think she's going to be the poet laureate until mid 2006. So there's plenty of opportunities to work with her, and most probably also invite the public to support the program. So what the programs have been doing around the country is like do an open call or do invitational, and then they create this kind of templates that are 30 words max of very short poems that are converted into stamps. We already have 2 resources that I gathered from 3 different programs to create these stamps that, hopefully will be used many times, not just once. The cost for every stamp could be either from $450 to $1,000, depending on materials. And, we don't have the problems like other cities where there's a lot of inclement weather, trying to, maintain this sidewalk stamping, preserved nicely. I just got back from someone in Boston and said, well, you in Dallas, you won't have those many issues that we have here because your weather will be nicer for these projects. So it's amazing that you're doing it. So there's a lot of support from these communities that are working on these projects. And I think it's just, an exciting venture.
And I will add that we've asked the poet laureate to kind of create a Dallas form of poetry, like, there's a haiku, but hopefully we'll have some kind of Dallas shape to our poem construction. And then our hopes is that then a workshop will be led by her to kind of instruct people and how this works, and that we'll record it so that anybody can use it as reference. Vicki, go ahead. I know your hand's up.
Oh, yeah, I was just going to say that we have a really robust poetry community in Dallas, and it's across cultures. So I think this is a great way for us to infiltrate the neighborhoods with poets, many of whom may even be living in the neighborhoods where they're creating the poems.
Fantastic. Any other questions? Great.
My only
Yes.
question is that, so this is a new thing, and I echo what Vicky is saying about the idea that not just visual can be public art or even translate something like this into something that's visual. Is this potentially a template for other types of projects that aren't just completely visual, or is this kind of a one-time type of deal?
We have big plans.
I love it. Good.
I wanted to mention in my research, I found that these cities invest on the stamps and then they have something like a stamping season when the weather permits. So they have probably an open call for new 5 proposed artists to writers to, either they go by theme. I think St. Paul is doing it by theme and they do 5 every year. So they do the stamping, like kind of repurposing the stamps that have been already created, and they just add the additional 5 new ones that they bring to their collection. It's like an ongoing thing. They once they start it, it's like, yeah, crazy. Yeah, the stamps are permanent. They are stamped on fresh concrete. I think it has to be done in like the first 90 minutes of the concrete being poured or something. Yeah, we're still researching on the process.
Great. Do I have a motion to, oh, I'm sorry. Clyde. I think you might be on mute.
Sorry, I am on mute. Echo everything in terms of a way to get more public art into the city. I think it addresses, one of the plans and one of the strategies in the cultural plan in terms of getting more work out. I've experienced and seen this work in other places like Miami. So kudos to us. And our poet laureate, the budget specifically, is this coming from our budget or is it transportation that's putting some money in? I'm just curious about the resource allocation.
So our budget is always someone else's budget. So,
Except for conservation.
yeah, so this is a percent for the arts that we are requesting the funding from streets because that seems like the most likely partner or the most logical partner.
Thank you, Lynn.
Any other questions? Great. Can I have a motion to move this project forward?
So moved.
I'll second.
Somebody over there. Great. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposition? Great. This motion passes. Fantastic. Thank you. And thank you for the enthusiasm. It's going to be an exciting one. Okay, we are moving on to the collection policy briefing.
We have a couple projects. Well, one, we had some minor repairs done to Resaca 3. And then we are doing a quick turnaround on Viva La Vida to do some graffiti remediation. And then we're putting out for a bid, no, not a bid, proposals to do a full cleaning of all these, the 3 objects that are part of that collection.
We're going to go back to the last slide. Can we go back to the last slide?
So on the public art collection policy.
Oh, yeah, it's not even in there. What happened to it?
I don't know. So we wanted to make sure that you have seen this, you've seen this document before. We will send it out again after this meeting because we would like to bring this to a vote in February. And if you need more time, we can move it to March, but we would like to go ahead and get this policy in place. I think it's been a couple of years, kind of in the ether waiting for a vote. But guys,
Yeah.
I'll tell you more about that.
Well, it's being reviewed right now. We've made all the revisions, so it's pretty much a formality that it's going to be in our plate pretty soon.
Yeah, from the city attorney's office.
City Attorney's Office, yep. Okay, collection updates, there we go. We already talked about the collection updates. So we're working on a couple projects. There's a couple more coming down the pipeline too. On the wing out at Dallas Executive Airport is being relocated because they're taking down that old sign that they have, putting a more modern entrance sign to, if you've been to Love Field, you've kind of seen the new sign there. So, so we're moving on the wing closer to the terminal at Dallas Executive Airport. We just got approval today, because there's FAA stuff. 7460 is an FAA because we're using a crane. It just got approved today. So we'll have the art handler come out and get it taken down pretty soon. So we'll report on that next month. Update on Kay Bailey. We're still trying to get the Kay Bailey Convention Center to let us get in there to do some tests. We're going to try to test two pieces. We're going to try to remove them. We'll see what happens. We're going to try one in the lower level, and then we're going to try one in the upper level because they're kind of installed differently underneath them. There has been successful removals from other places. Kansas City International Airport removed some of theirs, and so it is doable. Once we get in and do the two tests, we'll be able to figure out how much it's going to cost per piece. Lynn has gone through and earmarked some that she really wants to try to salvage. We've also reached out to American Terrazzo, who's a local based company, but did the terrazzo. They were looking for the original files from it. They can't seem to find them, but they have great news in that they said we can come out and match all the colors. We can photograph them when high intense images, and they can recreate almost any of them as well too, which is exciting because we didn't even think about that. We just thought about trying to salvage them but they're actually, we can just remake some of these brand all again. And which, so that's kind of an interesting concept that we have to look forward to as well. Go to the next slide. Update on Fair Park. This is the first floor of what they're actually doing. They're repurposing a lot of the first floor, adding some classroom style and stuff. And we are working with the Fair Park people as well as parks. We just requested some funding to go in to help restore some of the artwork that's there, as well as protect the terrazzo floor that's there too. So American Terrazzo is actually going to meet with me pretty soon, come over and look at the floor. But we also just wanted to recognize that the terrazzo floor is important too. So worst case scenario is they protect what's there right now as well. There's some images on the next slide, but. Oh, Vicki?
Yeah, Guy, I was just wondering if, because American Terrazzo can recreate some of these, is that more cost effective than having them trying to save them?
We don't know yet.
We don't know yet. We'll know once we get the two test pieces out and find out how successful it is, even if we can do it. Then with those two test pieces, they'll be able to identify how much it's going to cost per piece to remove. I'm on the fence of both sides of it, to be honest, because I think repurposing some of it is awesome, even if we can put it back into the new floor, like what Kansas City International Airport did, or like Lynn was like, we can maybe hang them on the walls. There's different, so I'm really excited to try both options in the long term, but yes.
And we'd also love, and this would be in the super pre-planning part of this, the title, Vicki, as you know, is Images of the City, and it was done, in the 90s. It's in the convention center. What are the images of the city now? I would love to see that move forward with interpretation as part of our public art piece. But, we're so, everything's in the proto planning part for that, but that would be a great way to keep this art project alive.
I have a quick question for you guys, and I'm not sure what I'm asking, so bear with me. But is there ever an event where a piece of public art, for whatever reason, maybe it's defaced beyond repair or it decides to be changed out or something like that? Do we have any method in place for like conserving that or putting it in storage or or putting it in a museum or anything like that? Or what happens to pieces like that? Am I making sense?
Yeah, you are
Okay.
making sense. So anything, as you know, that can happen in the city of Dallas has happened before or will happen soon. And so part of the collection policy kind of details out, certainly when we were dealing with Confederate imagery issues, this committee went through the collection and evaluated, the images that were in the collection, as, whether it was appropriate for the collection as it is now. Our goal is to make sure that the collection is viable, or the art pieces that are going into the collection are viable for at least 20 years. But we do recognize there have been pieces that the maintenance of them far exceeded the ability to repair, the cost exceeded the ability, whatever. It was bad. It was a bad business choice. Some have been destroyed. There are pieces in the collection that I've actually never been able to find. So they're just missing. So, the peaches at the farmer's market, once they were conserved, once they did the new renovation, they disappeared. There's probably, anyway, moving on. So we do try and in our collection policy and in our practice to account for whether art objects can be saved in some manner, or we try and honor the artist. So we honor the artist and we honor the collection. Does that make sense? Is that better?
So this is just some of the pieces that we've requested some funding to do some repairs, upgrades, conservation work on them. I think that's about it. Yes, the floor. And now it's.
What you see on the screen is our planning map. And thanks to Guy, there have been many prints of this made, and that it's beautiful. So we tried to, in this map, which possibly we'll give to every member if you would like, where our public art installations are, what the regions of the city are by cultural plan typologies, and kind of how they fit into parks. So we've been trying to really get our arms around places visually, like by looking at this map, where are places that really have more of a placemaking need in the collection? Like, how does this lay out? Where are the narratives that haven't been told, and how do we make places in those locations? And the map has been very helpful in doing that. So that's what you're seeing there. And part of our plan for 2025 is that we really are focusing on a few core things, like making sure that we really are engaging the community. Our team has done such a great job of being present and using new tools. They have been at fall festivals, they've had office hours, they've created surveys, really making sure that the community has a voice in the public art. So that's one of our 2025 public art plan themes. Making sure that we're listening for narratives is another one. And also that we are focused in a large way on making place. That we don't want to just have public art installations and then move away, but we actually are making places. So we're making sure that there's documentation afterwards. Like Guy has just had an interview with the offering at JC Zaragoza so that the public art piece can also live virtually so that people can experience it even if they don't come to the city or have access to those locations. So those are, I would say those are our three kind of overarching goals for the public art plan.
As well as allocating 2024 budget.
Yes.
I can start with Oldies Dallas Workyard Park. And so community engagement is wrapped up. And we are developing the request for qualifications / call for artists. We plan to post that this month on CodaWorks. Once we have a final version and that is up on CodaWorks, I will share that information with you all so that you can distribute and invite any artists that are in your network that you would like to share that information with. And then our next one is Harry Stone, who is now entered fully into community engagement. We had, of course, our first in-person meeting at the rec center in November, mid-November. And so we are working with the rec center staff and their team to identify a good date for us to have office hours. Hopefully this month. We'd like to wrap up community engagement out there by the 31st. And we'd like to see what other community conversations we can have in the process. With that, the online survey is still up. I probably will leave it throughout the month so that the neighborhood and the community has ample opportunity to share their feedback and their input. However, as a supplement to that, we had a really fun and effective exercise that Adriana really managed fully, and I will pass the ball on to her so that she can tell you all about it.
I think it's the next slide, Emmanuel. Thank you. While taking this placemaking online training, I found some resources from that idea of really just, piggybacking on what Lynn said, not just like installing artwork in communities, but actually creating place and community through art. I found this techniques really useful, and they're very visual. So it's basically taking the questions from the surveys that the team has been working on and spreading out, and then just making them in a visual. So people have something to participate with. They love putting dots everywhere. So, the more appealing, the better. With this one, we invited during the meeting, the staff from the rec center they actually said, "Oh, can we do this?" I said, "Yeah, please do. You actually going to live with the artwork. So please, make your choices, give us themes, things that you want to do." We also brought the Love Field coloring book activity that was really helpful for, the kids that were at the meeting with their parents to have something to do while their parents were, participating in the meeting. So we're planning on replicating this as many times as we can and want, with different questions at the different locations, different projects, with the idea that people participate actively, giving us their feedback. What was not successful that much was gathering stories, because people don't want to take the time to write. So we need to come up with another way to gather those stories that I think are really helpful for us to create open calls and the scope of the artworks. So, and I think this is still an exploration of different things that, help us get that feedback from the community.
Would you guys be open to video submissions of stories? that can be transcribed?
Yeah, so that is something that also was part of this placemaking
Okay.
online set of resources suggested. There's a lot of things that are, you know, like videoing people in action while they are doing something in the community, tracing where people go, doing recordings of surveys or questionnaires or very short or informal or formal interviews. So yeah, there's a lot of resources that we haven't used and we can adapt definitely for our purposes. Thank you.
Thank you.
I think there's
Oh,
another
got
question.
one more question.
Yeah, it's just what was sort of the top level result from your questionnaire from the meeting?
Well, for this during the event, and we haven't finished up community engagement.
Right.
But for this specific one, I think, as you can see, the emoji that had the most points was like inspired. So people want to be inspired by the artwork. They also prefer something related to nature, something abstract and very colorful
Okay, thank you.
so far.
All right, so the family is very much almost nearing completion of fabrication. We are now in the installation planning process, or it is in progress. And so I just today booked a meeting for next week with Master Construction, a local company who will be pouring and constructing the foundation for the artwork. And they will also be handling the installation. So this is a company that we worked with several times already quite successfully. So we're thrilled that the artist decided to go with this company. And so we are expecting the foundation pour to be completed, hopefully, if weather permits, by the end of January. And that will allow it, give it enough time for the foundation, the concrete to cure, for our installation completion by March 14th of this year. So we're working with the artist and the Parks Department and the artist subcontractors to coordinate all of these efforts. And hopefully we will have a dedication announcement for you very soon once we've got, once that piece is in place. And just some pictures of our site visit with the Parks Department, marking the location of the artwork and where that will sit and where that will live. Next is our West Dallas Veterans Tribute artwork. We are working with the Parks Department to finalize the site. We are going to Park Board actually this week. First up is the Park Department Planning and Design Committee, which is on Thursday, and then they will have discussions, then that will move on to full Park Board February 7th. I've shared all of these updates with our community and veteran stakeholders. They are thrilled that the project keeps moving along smoothly. We also have a site meeting planned for next week with our project liaison on Parkside to identify site restrictions, timing of installation and foundation pour, and other project logistics that we need to kind of finalize before as we're moving through the project timeline. And those are just some pictures to remind you where we're going to hopefully be installing. And yes, so Walnut Hill Recreation Center, we've had great progress getting the artist under contract for a redesign development. The redesign will include enhanced community engagement, which Julia Owsley is very excited to do. We've also made community connections with one particular neighbor that is very interested in participating and sort of serving as a community community stakeholder for this project. And so our first phase will likely be some form, and we're still sort of in discussions of what this community contact and connection will be with the artist as we're kind of working through this phase of the project. But Julia is very excited to continue on with this project. Once I have any more concrete information on any community engagement efforts out there, I will share those with you all.
Okay, my turn. I'm very happy to announce that December 11, the City Council approved the project for Natural Encounter, or Cloud Dog, as we call it informally. And the artist is very happy with Cloud Dog too, so I checked with her. So literally the day after council resolution, I had the contract draft with the city attorneys, and then Christmas happened, and then New Year happened, and I'm sitting on charcoal, so to speak, because I'm ready. The artist has her contract draft reviewed at the moment by her attorney, and we're exchanging literally every week. Is it happening? Have we got news from the city attorney's office? So I'm hoping that will happen within the next couple of weeks. And by next month, we should be under contract and start fabrication. And if that all goes well, by the end of January, we will be able to install next end of this year, winter 2025. Then this is the new project, Trinity Strand, that's on High Line. We did a site visit out there with Parks, and so our phase is at the moment initiation, and I'm just preparing to contact stakeholders and prepare for community engagement. So I'm identifying galleries, businesses in that area that we want to contact. I don't even think there's a big residential area down there, but this will all come out in the research that I'm conducting right now. We reached out to stakeholders in the community already and have gotten some names of additional stakeholders that will give us more information of who to talk, what input to look for, and where to look for it. And then, depending on how construction goes, spring 2027, this will be happening. And there's some pictures on the next slides. At the moment, it does not look very pretty, as you can see. It is literally a mess. So as you come, so High Line itself is very fancy, very nice. And as you come to the end of it towards the creek, there's a wonderful trail underneath, but the top looks exactly like this. It's just dirt. There is a concrete, another concrete. There's I think it's tiled wall there. And if you can see the next picture, and there's tons of electricity lines, but eventually this is what it's going to look like. So that is the draft from the construction department. They will construct 2 bridges. One of those bridges that goes over to Rodeo Goat will land directly where the art will be installed at the end of High Line. So that little red dot that is on that drawing there, that is where the sculpture is going to go. Probably will not be red, but we'll see. So. Singing Hills, that's my baby at the moment. I'm super excited. The selection panel has been confirmed and we're meeting this week actually. We have an artist shortlist, and next month at this time we will have 3 artists that will be preparing design proposals for this. So drawing is in progress, and we're waiting final budget confirmation. Lynn has also reached out to Dallas Water to confirm the budget, as we were not getting anywhere with Parks. So we have to find money somewhere. And Forest Green is also rearing to go. We were able to up the budget for this project to just over 100,000. So that should give us a lot more sculpture or seating or whatever the artists dream up with. The RFQ has been published on CodaWorks, so artists at the moment can apply to this, and I'm closing the article on January 30th. And selection panel for this artist selection process is mostly confirmed. I'm waiting on 1 member at the moment. And the next slide will show what this looks like. So when artists apply to our calls on the new platform, this is what they see. They have a short summary on the left with the budget, and then more detailed explanation on the other side. And then they will click into apply, they register with the site. And from there, they upload their images, they upload their resumes and all the requested information. And it will get submitted to this platform called CodaWorks. And from there, we can actually then administer the jurying. And the panelists will actually also log in there and cast their votes on there. And Vickery Park Branch, that's my Sleeping Beauty at the moment. We're requesting budget confirmation for this one. The RFQ is ready. We're ready. We just waiting on, I think, Parks to confirm that the budget is in place where we need it. This is S's project. I don't know, Adriana, are you presenting?
So this one is in the contracting phase. It also was approved by council in December. And so as it's being contracted, one of the things that we're doing, particularly with this, because I think are the next slides painted, the images are powder coated. So we are in discussion with some local conservators to talk about the surface treatment, just to make sure that we are doing everything as archivally as possible, or as conservation aware as possible, because we have extreme weather here. So we're in process of getting it contracted and confirming the materials that are going to be used. Next. And this is Calcium Projects, also SS project. And we're halfway completed with this. The gates, one of the sets of gates are done. So they will begin when the weather gets slightly better to complete the next set of gates or flood doors. So that, let's see what the pictures look like. Yeah. So they're more complete. We'll have better pictures for you next time, but we're pretty excited about this nearing. Hassani, do you have anything to say? Because you were there when they were painting.
I can't hear him.
Sorry. Props to everybody for bringing this along. It's, I'm part of the city that really needs uplifting art like this, and it's encouraging to me to see this progressing. So good job to the committee, to the artists, and to S for being on top of things the way that they are.
Okay, so we're actually pretty excited about this. Is again S's project. S is out on vacation, in case you were wondering. So there are a series of these installations along Botham Jean, and so if we go to the next slide, we're close to completion and this should be installed. We are planning a dedication no matter what on January 24th at 3 to kind of do an art walk. So it's a Friday. We thought we'd see how that works. A lot of other departments have their dedications and events on Friday afternoon. So we thought we'd try it with some hot chocolate as an enticement. We are fortunate that one of the community partners in this is the St. Paul Baptist Church. So we can use the parking lot and have some dedication brief remarks in the interior of the church. So even if the weather is not cooperating, certainly that building and the congregation there is. So they are helping us. So Laura Walters is one of the pieces. It's close to installation. Next slide. And Scott Shubin just installed. So if we can look at his piece. So these are enameled panels, little tiny panels, and they're in around, all of these installations have some connection to the narratives in South Dallas. So the next slide. So, okay, so that's it. Write it on your calendar. The two other pieces that are installed are by Bernard Williams called Times of the Signs. and also Pascal Pryor's Sunnyside Up. So those will be the pieces that will take our 1.5 block to art walk tour on Friday and the 24th. So Bachman Skate Park is very close to having an artist selection. This has been another invitational. It's not been an open call, but artists that have a portfolio that reflects skate park themes have been invited to submit their qualifications. And so those will be reviewed in the next couple weeks. So if we could look at the next slide, this is the wall that it will go on. It's actually a pretty cool wall. As most of y'all know, murals have been my least favorite art form. But this one I think will be fantastic. So next slide. Okay.
All right, so for flight 1 and 2, as part of the streetscape beautification for Lemon Avenue, the artist is on fabrication and just submitted late last night some pictures of. You want to go to the next one, Emmanuel? Thank you. So the birds have been finished with the cutting. And now they have assembled that welded rod that goes on the back to give them some dynamic movement. And those are the steps that the artist sent. Just go along with the slide. I said, please send me something for committee. And she gave me all of this, like, wow, she did her homework. So we have a scheduled meeting next Tuesday, starting our owners meeting for foundation prep prior to installation. We're just, hoping to be on schedule to finish up the 2 sculptures and install on time. Thank you. I think that's that for that one. Cleaver Riley, artists that were shortlisted during the selection panel meeting on November 14, are working on their design proposals. We received 1 of the proposals already. We have our second meeting with the selection panel next week on Thursday to select a finalist. So hopefully by next time we meet, we have more news to share. I think the next slide is the selected location final site after meeting with our parks friends. As you can see on the left is a seating area adjacent to the splash park. And then on the other side, you can see some of the rec center. So it's right in between both. There were lots of considerations from the parks that probably we didn't see. So it's really great that we can partner with, them in this project, so they could see like accessibility coming from, the trail and the parking garage, and then proximity to a seated area in case, the design proposal from the artist, really conveys that unity in this project. So yeah, we're waiting on the artists, the other 2 artists, and then selection panel next week. Yep, Guy.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Yes, I have projects assigned to me. We're still in talks about the Keller Springs roundabout. We finalized the budget. This will be exciting because we have not done a roundabout yet. But we've seen a lot of them at other cities. So yeah, pretty much the only update is the budget. Budget's been finalized. And we'll start plugging away at this. One of my first projects, running the show all by myself. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Is there a project? What's that thing that we can volunteer to do?
Project liaison. Or,
I think so.
no.
Volunteer for that or?
Yeah. Actually, yeah, that's right. We do need somebody assigned for this. So yeah.
For way up in 12.
Are you asking because you're volunteering?
Oh,
Yeah.
Right.
What do you mean way up in 12? Is that far?
It's not as far as Plano.
South of Plano, but north of 35.
I go to Richardson every day, so it's all good.
Perfect.
So I have a new route now. Yes, and I just, before we go into community engagement, what I've really enjoyed seeing today were the budget numbers with maybe an extra zero on them. I mean, now they're really workable. So good job to Lynn and everybody else on the team for really pushing for that so that we have quality art and the artists are compensated fairly. So thank you.
I updated my slide for community engagement, just adding that input for the community activity that we had at Harry Stone, and it's just an example. But I'm planning on supporting many other projects, you know, in the team. Those 3 up there are ones that are in the books, just like waiting on dates, locations, and, you know, having conversation with the project leads so we can actually plan something that will work for each one of those projects. And then, you know, the last part is just, again, trying to identify which techniques and resources and things that I'm gathering around in my research I find helpful to adjust to what we already do. So, yeah.
Thank you. Just one really quick update. Last month, or I guess back in November, I'd asked for all what council districts y'all lived in or worked in. I already knew which one you did, so it's not, yes. So, and with that information, the next step was, the goal is that I and Lynn meet with all the commissioners on the Arts and Culture Commission to make sure that they understand the public art process and what is happening in their district as well as what already exists in their district, and that they have a connection with those of you who are on this committee who live or work in that district. So with that said, we just started setting up meetings. We have 2 set up. No, those people don't have anybody on this committee, coincidentally. So get ready to get some emails in the next week or 2 from me, or text perhaps, just asking you for your availability, because we'd like you, if you can, to be part of those meetings so that we're all on the same page and we're kind of functioning as a team and as a community. So.
And thank you for facilitating that, because I wanted to meet Teresa,
Yeah.
but just hadn't
It's hard.
had the opportunity. Yeah, everybody's doing stuff.
Right. And then
Just wanted to echo, thank you for setting that up.
oh, you're welcome. It's just going to take a few days to get, or a few weeks to get this all going, but that's kind of the goal of this. I would like to say first 2 months of the year, but it might be first quarter, depending on how dates fall and people are available. And then just a really big push for joining on Friday, January 24th at 3 p.m. for this dedication and art walk. I think it's going to be fantastic. We've been looking forward to this for a few months. So I hope everybody can join us for that. That'll be fun. And for us to all be together in person. So I don't have anything else. Does anybody have questions, comments, feedback? Sharon, Vicky?
Do you have any idea how long that walk will be? Because I'm supposed to be in Denton that afternoon, and I just want to see if there's enough time to do both.
So as far as walk, it's probably,
Block the half?
it's not very, it's small. It's a small walk. It's so easily manageable in 15 minutes. So if you're, you know, I am unclear on how long the short remarks will be, but they should be at 3. My hope is that we'll be completed by 3:30, 45-ish. Depending on who is planning on speaking. This is not a partnership with parks. We use street money for this. So, you know, kind of that cuts the program a little bit, as far as speakers. Does that help? Like, the walk is easy,
Yeah,
the talking
was
should be
just trying
short.
to figure out, is it more than an hour, or what are we looking at?
Yeah, I think an hour should be perfectly suitable.
For lots of hot chocolate in there.
Yeah.
All right, thanks.
And I think Clyde, you had your hand up as well? Maybe? No?
I did. I'm just gonna put this on my calendar now. I was gonna ask for a calendar invite, but no need. Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else? Vicky, your hand's still up. I don't know if that's from before or. Okay,
I'm looking forward to this one because I use that street every single day.
that's awesome.
So,
That's the
yeah.
point, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Right, so, okay, well, with that said, I am going to close the January public art meeting at 5:25. Thank you all for participating, and if we don't see you before, we'll see you next month.
Happy New Year.
Thank you.